Now loading podcast, period.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podcast Period, the internet's stupidest podcast. My name is Ben, and with me today, as always, is my co-host David.
What's up, guys?
All right, so today we've got a little bit of a different show. It's been a while since we did a movie review. I can't remember how many episodes. Oh, I guess the last time we did one was John Wick, right?
Yeah, it's only been about 3 or 4 episodes. It's actually not been that long.
Feels like it. Well, I guess we record with 2 weeks in between, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, still, we're doing Godzilla vs. Kong today.
As promised.
Yes. I think we were both pretty excited for this movie when it was announced, and got further excited once the trailer finally dropped. Good God, it took forever. And now it's here. So, I'll start with the plot synopsis, and then we'll get into our thoughts. Kong and his protectors undertake a perilous journey to find his true home. Along for the ride is Gia. Is it Gia? Was her name ever said in the movie?
I don't know. And you know me, I'm bad with pronunciation anyway, so...
Anyway, along for the ride is Gia, an orphan girl who has a unique and powerful bond with the mighty beast. However, they soon find themselves in the path of an enraged Godzilla as he cuts a swath of destruction across the globe. The initial confrontation between the two titans, instigated by unseen forces, is only the beginning of the mystery that lies deep within the core of the planet. So, would you say, based on what we were hyping it up to be between like the trailers and everything, would you say that this movie lived up to your expectations?
As far as the epic battle between the two titans, yes. That definitely held up.
Mm-hmm.
As far as my expectations for the overall, advancement into, the mysterious nature behind Monarch, not really. It didn't propagate the story in a way that I thought it was going to. I thought, Monarch was going to be, this huge, underlying behemoth of a company, which it is, but also, be, directly related to the issue at hand. But I didn't think that I was going to see what I did see as far as, what was it, Apex or...
Apex, yeah.
Yes, Apex, as far as their involvement goes. And
by the way, before we get into anything towards the ending of the film, we are not going to hold back on spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it and then come back, because we're going to be spoiling everything.
Yes.
David and I use these episodes to walk through... To kind of discuss what we liked and disliked about the film. We normally do that anyway, but we specifically save it for the recording. So we didn't really talk about the movie at all, except for I think we both liked it.
We had this very, very short exchange, and that's all we did. And we specifically let it.
I think it was literally 3 texts long.
Yes, it was. It went, because I was trying to nab him a little bit, because if we had watched, because we watched the trailers on the episode, if we had watched the second trailer first, my initial prediction of Godzilla kicking ass would have held true as far as my analysis.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't. We watched Kong give him the beatdown. So I wanted to jab at Ben a little bit, because my first message goes, Godzilla kicked some ass. And then I said, Kong also gave a beat down. And then his response was, and then they both kicked ass. And that's all we left it as far
Pretty
as
much, yeah.
discussion.
If that doesn't tell you where this goes, by the way, I was like 100% right with where I thought this movie was going to go. I didn't know who the unforeseen bad guy was going to be, and we will get into that. But I was 100% right that they would fight. I didn't predict that either of them would win. I mean, obviously, I said Kong would win, but they both kind of had their winning moments and losing moments. So,
Yes.
but I was right about an unforeseen force or an unforeseen bad guy coming in, and then they would both have to work together. That's honestly, that's
exactly
just how
what
these
you
movies
said.
go. You know, Batman v Superman,
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Although they had Wonder Woman in the mix, but still, same freaking thing. This is it's funny that this was made by the same company too. Well, I guess it's not the same company. It's all under the HBO or AT&T umbrella, I guess, but AT&T/Warner Media. But either way, it's funny that they were, you know, released by the same company,
Yeah.
quote unquote. It is the movie plots are somewhat similar if you look at the overarching thing. So, anyway, um, I'm I'm with you as far as my initial expectations go, except for the Monarch thing because I don't know. I really don't know where else you could have gone with Monarch because they were. I mean, they were. I don't think they were really mentioned at all in Godzilla 2014. I can't remember, but I know that they were delved deeper into in Skull Island. And then they were really made into something with King of the Monsters. They
Yeah.
played like a central role, which, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they played a central role in Skull Island as well, but they were more the driving plot force, I guess, in King of the Monsters. And then in this, they're kind of, I don't know, I guess kind of taking a back seat. I think they're trying to play this as Monarch is kind of the good guys, I guess. You know, they're trying to make peace with the monsters and not necessarily like go toe to toe with them because I mean, it
It didn't end well.
Apex, yeah, Apex showed that could be done, but it clearly didn't end well for Apex, like at all.
No.
Because yeah, we'll get into kind of the twist at the end as far as that whole thing goes. But um, huh? Is there anything that we should talk about before we get to that?
No, I don't think so. I think we're ready
I
to go
wanna
ahead.
I wanna talk about the special effects. Let's go into those before we get into the ending, shall we?
Okay.
So, my opinion on the special effects is they looked beautiful. Especially, I liked the way they took Kong. I like his like aged, almost haggard look. Like he definitely looks older than he did when compared to his form in like Skull Island. Not only is he bigger, but he's also got like I don't know whether to call them gray hairs. It definitely looks like he's got gray hairs, but he's not like full on gray yet.
No. And he's battle ridden. He's got the battle scars
Yeah, yeah.
and everything. I mean, he's shown to still be like very well capable, but I would say if this isn't like just past the peak of his prime, then I'd be surprised. Like it
Yeah.
took a toll on him, clearly.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely didn't feel as spry as he did in
Skull Island.
Skull Island. Yeah, he he definitely put up a fight here because he definitely won. Like I would say, it was pretty much a draw between the two of them on the like in the ocean.
Yeah.
Although that was more because of the interference with the humans than anything else. But either way, um, and then Kong definitely like stood out in the first part of their second confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he was going ham on Godzilla, and then the tides turned
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
Godzilla is he's Godzilla.
He
But
lived
listen,
up to my
as
initial prediction before
yeah,
we got
as
spoiled.
much as I like Kong, Godzilla is clearly the more powerful of the two. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I knew that going into the trailer too, but I mean, I just like Kong. It's a giant monkey.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and I wish we had seen the second trailer first, because then we could have gone into this on a divided front, and we
Yeah,
would have been like both rooting for our home team, and you know, I don't want to make it sound like it was Godzilla's fight to lose, but it was, especially in the ocean. And that's not fair because that was his home turf. What was
yeah,
Kong supposed to do about that? There really wasn't. And especially the first half of the fight, he's freaking chained up
mm-hmm,
and under, I don't know, lack of a better word, aesthetic, anesthesia, tranquilizers. That's what I was looking for.
yeah.
So I mean that's not his fault at all. So I mean you can take that for the biggest grain of salt you want. Yeah, you could say Godzilla won that until intervention came into being, but I mean what's he supposed to do? He's a freaking gorilla in the middle of an ocean. What turf
Yeah.
does he have to stand on?
Yeah,
Literally the
exactly.
ships were breaking from beneath both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or Godzilla was just slicing through them like, I don't know, a hot knife through butter. Like it
Yeah,
didn't make any
basically.
difference. And then you get the fight in the city, and it's like, okay, yeah, Kong can definitely lay the beat down. There's no doubt about it. Get him on land, and he's still a very capable animal.
Mm-hmm.
And then Godzilla proceeded to kick his butt to the point where Kong needed resuscitation with a giant electrical device to like restart his heart.
Yeah. I will say,
If
in the
that's
long
not
run,
defeat,
he definitely lost that fight.
if that's not defeat, then I don't know what is. I'm sorry.
Uh,
I'm sorry, but that's defeat. And then Godzilla proceeded to get defeated himself.
yeah, yeah. He was very, very. It was very funny seeing almost happen to Godzilla what he did to the Muto in Godzilla 2014. Like he opened up the mouth and shot the blast in.
Yep.
Hmm. It was interesting seeing him in that position.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's about ready to lose this. So
Yeah.
it's funny that it took the two of them to lay the beat down on, I guess now would be the time to spoil Mecha
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because holy crap, that's not something that I was expecting. Like, we get the sense of urgency. Something is wrong. Godzilla hasn't made an appearance in like 3+ years, as it is explained in the movie, and yet here he is randomly attacking some Apex facility down, I think it was Pensacola, Florida, or somewhere in the panhandle of Florida. If it wasn't
Yeah.
Pensacola, it was somewhere close. And it's like, okay, what do they have to do with this? Because he's pretty much proven to be a creature that, if left alone, doesn't really become an antagonist, especially towards humans. Like, You leave him alone and he's fine. He's content in his own little God knows what area of the ocean or wherever he be hiding out. It's teased a little bit in King of Monsters, but I also think it's completely destroyed in that movie. Not really sure if it's still there or not.
Yeah, who knows?
It's hard to say. But clearly something's going on with Apex, and we get like this little bit of a hint that something is being transported, and it looks like this like three-dimensional like octagonal cube of some type. It may have been a hexagonal shape, and I didn't really pay attention to how many sides it had. But something's up with that.
Yeah.
But we don't understand what.
Yeah, even when they like reveal that it's Mechagodzilla, it still doesn't really make sense as to why Godzilla would be like attracted to it until we find out that their little pilot control center is in one of the skulls of Ghidorah, the main bad guy of King of the Monsters, who apparently has such long necks that their heads have to telepathically communicate with its body. So when you see that, when you realize that it's being controlled by a human, but also I guess by the skull through the human, or something like that. I don't know. They don't really explain it, but it's
a bad job of explaining what is going on there.
The control is like conducted through Ghidorah's head, and it's telepathically controlling Mechagodzilla. So once we get that, it makes sense that Godzilla would be attracted to this otherwise completely mechanical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a sense. There's like a primordial instinct that he's following here.
He wants to be the apex predator, I guess.
Yeah, I mean there's something to do with that. Like I said, they don't do necessarily the greatest job explaining that, but it's okay. Whatever.
It's still pretty good. But I don't know. I think the twist that Ghidorah kind of has this not resurrection as Mechagodzilla is a really cool way to play it. So it's not like a separate entity, I guess. It's not like a clone of Godzilla's brain patterns or whatever, not whatever dumb way they could have taken it. I mean, it still doesn't necessarily make sense that that Skull controls controls Mechagodzilla, but I mean,
the whole energy source thing quite honestly confused the snot out of me. Like, we see Godzilla attracted to this energy source. Kong's down there with this axe in his hand. Godzilla literally burrows through the earth with his radioactive fire blast. I still don't know what you want to call that. But literally burns a hole through the entire center of the earth down to this hollow earth place that we've taken Kong to. Because we believe this is his home and this is where he'll be safe, and this is probably where the ancestry of the Titan origin lays.
Yeah.
And then, this signature is detected, analyzed, beamed back up through the earth to Apex headquarters, but I don't quite understand how they have communications down there, but whatever. Who cares? Magic Wi-Fi, I guess, is the best way to explain that.
Yeah.
And then this entire mechanism of the pilot taking over and controlling Mechagodzilla is completely eradicated, and this energy source, I don't know, Ghidorah? Maybe? I don't really, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what this energy source is, but yet it completely takes
Well,
over the entire machinery.
the energy source isn't what takes over the machinery. I think it might have helped with Ghidorah taking it over, but the point of the energy source was so that they could match Godzilla's power. Apparently, they trace like the same energy signature as Godzilla down to the center of the Earth. So once they were able to capture like a scan of it, they could replicate it, and therefore it could be used by the Mecha Godzilla
To solve the power issue they
suit
were
or
having.
whatever. Yeah, exactly.
And then, Ghidorah just takes over from that skull?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Apparently.
Okay. All right. That I can handle that explanation because it didn't quite make under sense how an energy source would have like an AI intelligence to it or whatsoever, and completely like I don't remember. Did they like electrocute the pilot of Mechagodzilla kind of, or they did something
I
weird to him, didn't they?
don't know if he died or what.
It looked painful, whatever happened to him.
It he got electrocuted. The the Wikipedia post doesn't say if he dies or not. The pilot gets electrocuted. The main like Apex CEO just dies.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he gets
he's
chomped or
wiped out.
something.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's no
Yeah.
more. Rightfully so. He shouldn't have been playing with the power of God anyway, so
Yeah, basically.
that's his own fault.
Yeah, but I like where they went with this whole thing as far as how Mechagodzilla is kind of constructed. I don't know anything about like the how it worked in the past, but I mean it probably wasn't this. It could be, but it probably wasn't.
Probably not. I mean,
Yeah.
but I liked it too. It definitely served a purpose for why these two would be going after each other anyways. Because you would have thought, and they did a nice tie-in with, this secret Monarch facility somewhere on Skull Island that basically turns part of Kong's environment into a containment zone to
I
keep
think it
him
was
safe.
basically the entirety of Skull Island.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a tiny, small part of it.
Maybe. I don't know.
In retrospect to the entirety of Skull Island, it didn't look like it was a very big part of it.
I don't know. I mean, you are thinking about the size comparatively to Kong too, though. So, considering he's changed size between films and he's massive,
Yeah, yeah.
it could be kind of hard to say.
I didn't really. I see. I'm glad you said that because I was like, I don't really think he was this big in Skull Island. Like, you saw the size difference between these two, and I was like, oh my gosh, there almost isn't a size difference. Like, I thought Godzilla like towered over Kong, and he's like, no, I'm huge.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find how tall was Kong in Skull Island. In Kong Skull Island. That's not the one that I want. Oh, okay. Well, the article will tell me. Let's see. Kong Skull Island. In Skull Island, he is 104 feet. Oh my god. he grew like 3 times the size to 335 feet.
Okay. Yep. That accounts for the size difference that I was thinking. It's like I don't remember him being that big.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. My goodness. Wow. Anyway, yeah. I like this movie. I enjoyed how everything kind of meshed together and wrapped up. It was nice seeing them, like the two of them at the end of the movie, kind of acknowledge each other and then like walk off into the sunset, as it
Yeah.
were.
Yeah. They go their separate ways. It's like I got you, boo.
Yeah. Godzilla was about ready to come after him, and then Kong just like drops the axe. He's like, "We're done here."
We're done. Yeah, it's like you want to. I will have to say this: Kong definitely shows more restraint when needed. We clearly have the underlying assumption that he answers to no one, but
Yeah.
yet we're also shown that he has established this very deep connection with this little girl, whereas Godzilla clearly does answer to no one. He is definitely asserting his dominance as the king of titans, king of monsters, and clearly is not ready to relinquish that control to anyone, including Kong. Laid him out, was going to come after him again, like you said, and Kong just drops his axe and he's like, "Yeah, no, we're done. We don't need to do that again." And then they acknowledge each other. And it's like, yeah, we see who's boss here. And then which I'm glad that I hope that means that the axe has been buried, especially now that Kong is supposed to be ruling the Hollow Earth area, and Monarch's got the little observation post down there as well to hopefully just keep tabs on things and not do something incredibly stupid. But I have a feeling they will. Somebody will come along in charge and be like, yeah, we're going to go back to our old ways of meddling with things we shouldn't do.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll have to see where they take it. But for right now, even if there were no other movies after this, I think this was like a good ending point. You know?
Yeah. But they're not done.
Oh no.
Nobody will let a good thing lie.
Let's just hope it doesn't doesn't jump the shark too soon. It's the last thing we need. Oh man. All right. Is there anything else we wanna talk about before we move on to the trailers?
No, I think we covered it pretty well. I mean, Mecha's gone. He's dead. Hopefully we don't see much of that anymore.
Well, it depends on if some dumb finds another one of Ghidorah's skulls and decides to do something
again
with it. Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah. All right. So out of 5 out of 5 Mecha Godzillas, what do you give this movie?
Out of all of them, this isn't my favorite one, but it's still a pretty good movie on its own. I would say like a 3.75 or something like that. Like, it's good, but
yeah,
it's not one of those that I would definitely like. It's right on my top of the list of things that I need to watch like pretty soon. Like, I will watch it again. It's just, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either.
Yeah. I would say I'm with you. It's not my favorite of the MonsterVerse movies. I'd say that honor has to go to Skull Island. Skull Island is just, mwah, chef's kiss. Love it. I'd probably give this like a 4. I liked it a lot. Not as much as Skull Island. Skull Island is probably like a 4.5 or 4.75 for me,
Yeah.
but it's still pretty good. I liked it a lot. All right. Well, let's move on to our trailers. We've actually got 4 pretty big trailers for you this week. Uh, got Black Widow, the new Space Jam, another trailer, or I think the first official trailer for Loki. And then we've got a trailer for Batman The Long Halloween Part 1. So be excited. First one is going to be Black Widow.
You don't know everything about me. I've lived a lot of lives. Before I was an Avenger. Before I got this family. I made mistakes choosing between what the world wants you to be and who you are. We have to go back to where it all started.
Before we talk about the trailer, why did we not get that version of the Avengers theme with the choral background in it in any movie up until this point?
I don't know.
It's so good. You would think we would have gotten something like that during the climactic battle at the end of Endgame, but apparently not. We get it during the trailer for Black Widow, of all places.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things that they do that, like, cry update. Like, holy cow, that was something that was so needed. And then you look at the way it was done before that, and it's like, oh, geez, no. That just takes away from all of it. All this time, it's like, you mean you could have done this before?
Yeah, I know. Ridiculous. Okay, so what did you think about the trailer?
Okay, so this is going to be a hot take, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So bear with me.
Okay.
This feels so dirty to have this movie now after Endgame.
Well, when you know this is like the last we're gonna see of her.
But yet we know the outcome.
Yeah.
The inevitable outcome, anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, this predates Avengers. It's the origin story that I wish we'd known before we lost the character. Like, it hurts a little bit.
I can see where you're coming from, but at the same time, it's not like she wasn't in a good portion of the Marvel movies up until that point. I mean,
Yeah.
she was in, I think she was in Iron Man 2.
I think
I don't
so, yeah.
think she was in 3. I know she was in all the Avengers movies, obviously.
Yep.
Maybe that was it.
Civil War 2.
Oh yeah, she was in Civil War. That's right.
But then I'm pretty sure that's it. You know, I wouldn't be as upset about it had we not gotten that moment, especially during the first, 30 minutes of Endgame, where we see her take on the mantle that she has as far as, trying to keep the world in a more secure place, given the fact that Tony's clearly not at the helm. He's having the life that, quite honestly, he deserved, but still, he's not head of the Avengers like he should be, and whatnot. So we see her in her element, and we see what she's ultimately become before making, the greatest sacrifice you could. So it's really interesting to see where this character starts off with. So I'm really glad that we get to see it finally. I'm super excited. The trailer looked amazing. The effects look on par for what they're capable of doing, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not going to disappoint. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
If it does, I'll be extremely upset and extremely shocked if
I'm with
I
you.
left it disappointed.
I'm with you. Yeah, it looks really good. Apparently she's been in 8 movies. She was in Black. Well, I guess Black Widow doesn't count. So Avengers Endgame, Captain Marvel, Infinity War, Civil War, Age of Ultron, Winter Soldier, Avengers, and Iron Man 2.
Goodness
So yeah,
gracious.
8 movies. Yeah. So she was in a ton.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but at the same time, she's been in plenty of the movies before this. So I mean, could the timing have been better? I suppose, but at least we got it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. It hurts. It really does hurt. Like this, I understand we needed Captain Marvel before we got Infinity War. Or after. We needed it. We needed that certain timing aspect.
Uh-huh.
We needed, as much as I don't like it per se, like it's not my favorite Marvel movie, we needed Ant-Man and the Wasp to set up what was going to happen in Endgame.
Yeah.
So again, not my favorite, but it was something where that timing had to be set in order to establish something that was going to be critical for the finale of the saga, with the exception of Spider-Man actually closing out the phase, but didn't really feel like it needed to be where it was placed. Like, they closed it for a reason, but it didn't cover a whole lot besides, a little bit of, like, life during the blip, kind of. But they didn't do a real fantastic job about that either. Whereas, it looks like Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to do a little bit better job of somewhat explaining it, specifically in the eyes of those who had to survive it without their loved ones and whatnot. But we'll see. But I feel like this movie could have been dropped in somewheres before Endgame.
Yeah, maybe. Alrighty. Oh, well, before we move on to the next trailer, what's your rating, I guess?
You and I would hands down 100% go to the movie theaters to see this. We both know this.
Yes, this is true. Uh-huh.
This is classic you and I go watch something.
Yeah, oh yeah. All right. So our next trailer is for the Space Jam sequel, Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh boy, what have they done? We're about to
to
find
see.
out.
Basketball camp is next weekend. You got amazing potential on the court, and I can help you get there.
That's not what I want, Dad. You never let me do what I want to do. You never let me just do me.
Hold up, wrong floor. Bet Will Smith ain't got to deal with this.
Dad!
Down! What in the Matrix hell?
Welcome to the space.
Welcome, King James. I am the king of this domain. This is the serververse.
What'd you do to my son? Where's Dom?
The only way you're getting your son back is if you and I play a little basketball. Pete, send this clown to the rejects.
Wait. What is this? I'm a cartoon?
What's up, Doc?
I need to assemble an elite team to help get my son back.
I know what you're looking for. A dream team. Mom, shoot the ball. Let's try that again, shall we?
It's as I feared. They. Mm, I don't want to say they ruined it, but I'm not liking the way this is looking. It's a competently put together trailer, but they're trying to explain something that doesn't need to be explained.
You mean how the whole thing works?
Yeah. Like, Michael Jordan got pulled down into a cartoon universe to a golf hole. That is all the explanation the original movie gave, and that's all you needed. It's classic.
I don't know. It's going to be one of those things we're going to have to wait and see, probably,
Yeah.
before we can have a realistic evaluation on it. But you are probably correct in saying what you have said. You took something that was just pure childhood magic and you put a face to it. And sometimes you just don't need to. I think it's interesting that we've got Don Cheadle as this villain, I guess. Our antagonist.
See, what I don't understand is why. I mean, I'm sure it will be explained in the movie, but like, why does he need to play a game of basketball against LeBron James?
I don't know. I don't know. Is this some long lost like childhood didn't live up to expectations, got shut out of the crowd because he wasn't as good as LeBron as far as, his skills go? And this is like,
I mean,
some backward
maybe?
convoluted scheme of revenge? I don't know.
Maybe. See, that's what I'm talking about. They're like overcomplicating things. The original just made sense, The Looney Tunes challenge these dorky aliens to a basketball game. The aliens go out and take the talent from some of the best basketball players at the time when the movie was released.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Looney Tunes bring in Michael Jordan, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, to help them win.
Because the aliens cheated.
Mm-hmm. And they would be amusement park attractions forever and ever if they didn't win.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like you said, it's gonna be one of those wait and see things. I'm just.
Now, as far as the question at hand is concerned, what would your rating be?
My rating for this right now would probably have to wait for review, just based on my feelings of the trailer, which I guess is the entire point of this.
Yeah. I understand. For prosperity purposes, are you leaning more towards yes because of how near and dear it was to your childhood heart, or does this trailer really give you enough reason to pause to be like, yeah, I don't know if I want my childhood ruined again?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the razor's edge, I mean,
Okay.
there's not very many movies that have had sequels like 20 years down the line or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess this would be Space Jam was 1996, right?
Something like that.
So this would be 25 years after the original movie came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. If they had stuck close to the script of the original, I think I would like it more. Like, obviously you don't want the sequel to be a carbon copy of the original, because then it's just Space Jam the original with LeBron James and potentially better looking animation and compositing, but I'm not 100% certain about the direction they did go with this. So I don't know. I'll say I'm like 51% yes, 49% no.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to wait for a review or if I'm just going to commit to it and see it. I think I would wait for rental. I think I'm going to commit to actually watching. And you'd probably watch it before me, and then you'd probably say something that I don't want to hear, and then I just don't watch it anyways. It's probably the realistic answer of what's going to happen.
Yeah, maybe.
But I do want to see it just for prosperity's sakes. But at this point, I'm also used to some executive decision to recreate my childhood, just basically turning into, you could have just stabbed me in the heart and it would hurt less these days. Like, they're just ruining everything. So I expect nothing less.
Yeah. We'll see.
I hate to be pessimistic about it, but that's
no,
the truth.
I'm with you. Yes, trust me, I know. All right, so our next trailer is, I think, the first official trailer, or second official trailer for Loki.
Hope this one makes a little more sense.
And we'll see.
We protect the proper flow of time.
You picked up the Tesseract, breaking reality.
I want you to help us fix it. Why me? I need your unique Loki perspective. Do I get a weapon? Nah.
You really believe in this Loki variant?
Luckily, he believes in himself enough for the both of us.
Mike. It is adorable that you think you could possibly manipulate me. I'm 10 steps ahead of you.
You're not big on trust, are you?
You can trust me. Loki, I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times. Why never do it again?
I don't know if that made things make any more sense, but seems interesting.
I would argue that it did, as it has provided a much needed context to what
he's doing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
like,
that's true.
What's going on? Because I had a feeling that this question was inevitably going to have to be answered at some point. It was made very clear by the Ancient One when Banner went to get the Time Stone from her, that anything that was left askew would create these alternate tangent timelines that would then send their reality into some dark, abysmal, disastrous future. And that everything had to be put back in place exactly where it came from in order to correct the timeline and keep it on a single stream.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly Loki picking up the Tesseract was going to have some kind of consequence, but we didn't really see and or hear anything up until this trailer that indicated that that would be the case, even though the Ancient One specifically said to Banner that that would be the case.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're finally seeing something of that incredibly I wouldn't say incredibly time consuming, but there was a reason that scene was left in place in the movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's kind of common knowledge, and for something as, frivolous as the time heist was, like, okay, we've seen this before. There seemed to be a specific reason why they put it in the way that they did. So I'm glad we finally get to see it. Especially, from the Ancient One being the one to explain it. them being the timekeeper of the time stone, the keepers of the time stone, they would be the ones most knowledgeable about what could happen. So
yeah, true. Yeah,
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, you can definitely, like, that right there is just a portend to, like, how meticulous Marvel has been, especially these last few years with, like, setting things up. Because, I mean, you're right, they were definitely going to follow that scene up with something.
Mm-hmm.
It was clearly a nod to something.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the fact that they put it in there in, like, the biggest movie in the world, almost. I guess Avatar overtook it again, but still. But the fact that it was in there and that it leads to this mini series on Disney Plus is just a testament to how meticulous that they've been.
Yeah, their attention to detail is second to none. They, especially in the last few years, it could be argued that it was somewhat luck in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they had a master plan, it definitely wasn't well explained in the beginning. I think they played their cards well in the beginning, and luck helped them. And then it was like, okay, now is the time to start being a little bit more meticulous in the things that are said, the things that are done, and the plot holes that we leave open, because Loki taking off at the Tesseract was definitely a plot hole. Not only for their own movie as far as Endgame goes, because then it sends Tony down a path to kind of have reconciliation with his father in a way, especially with the fears of parenthood looming over him.
Yep.
But, just the fact that Loki clearly got away yet again, circumnavigating Thanos' own saying of there will be no resurrections this time. It's like, it's too good. I love it.
Well, I mean, he's right. Loki wasn't resurrected. He was just taken out from one time stream and branched off into another. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, I mean, it's not a movie, so I guess we kind of just have to say that we're gonna watch it whenever it comes out.
Nah, we don't need to watch it. Who are you kidding?
Yeah, that's funny.
You gonna watch this?
Up with these Marvel series. It's not even. I mean, this week we've been kind of lackluster, but we'll probably catch up with a mega discussion topic next episode.
I have to have a moment of, like, Mandalorian talk with you with Winter Soldier. Like,
yeah, you haven't seen the latest episode yet, have you?
No, I didn't see season 3, episode 3 either. So I'm still a little peeved off that this is the Captain America that we have, and
trust me, my
answer is going to be
you have to watch episode 4. You have to. Are
things going to be made right?
Made right? I'm not gonna promise anything like that, but you need to watch it.
I won't be disappointed.
I'm not gonna promise anything.
You know my feelings about this. We had discussions on this. It's like, I don't know how I feel about him.
I am not a fan just as much as you are, but I don't want to tell you anything that's going to give anything away. Just watch it. When you get the chance, watch it.
Okay, I will. I've been kind of hesitant, as you can see.
Trust me, it's going in a good direction with the character.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so yeah, we'll probably catch up, like I said, with a mega discussion topic next episode. so we can. 'Cause I think next episode it's only 6 episodes long, so we should be recording when that 6th episode comes out, right?
That's it? That's all they're
Yeah.
doing for this series?
Yeah, 6 episodes.
Holy cow. I wouldn't have
I don't know
imagined
how
it was
long
going to be
Loki's
that
gonna
short.
be. Hopefully it's longer than that. But yeah, 6 episodes, that's it.
Wow. Holy cow.
So we'll be able to talk about the whole shebang at that point.
Sweet.
All right, so our final trailer of the evening is for a movie that I'm more excited about than David, but maybe I can get him on the hype train too.
Okay.
The Batman...
Just answer me this real quick. Just from the trailer, just from the Joker I see, is this Mark Hamill? Please tell me this is Mark Hamill.
I don't know.
That looks like a Mark Hamill face to me.
Usually for the DCAU stuff, they do like different voice actors. Like for Under the Red Hood, it's not Mark Hamill for the Joker. It's John DiMaggio, and Bruce Greenwood is Batman. So
okay, all right. Well, anyways,
they usually
before we
pick
even
pretty
watch
good
it,
voice actors.
I will say I approve of the styling of Joker. This looks good.
It does look good. Yeah, I'm excited. I really need to, now that you have HBO Max, I really need to get you into the DC animated movies, because they are, especially lately, they are truly fantastic.
All right. Let's
All
go.
right. So, Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1.
I can't really be a lawyer and a criminal, can I? I want to win. But do I want to win like this? I'm of two minds here.
So it's a coin flip.
Johnny Vitti was murdered tonight. The Falcone crime family has to be taken down.
There's only room for one homicidal maniac in this town.
Why are you running?
You could use a little fun.
I thought you didn't hurt people!
You thought wrong.
You still haven't figured out who killed Johnny Vitti?
A killer who only works on holidays. There's lots of crazy out there.
Once I take him out, things are gonna be different. We can start a family.
The city is fallen, Alfred.
Then we must endeavor to lift it up again.
Who is Holiday?
And who's next?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna look up and see who's the Joker, because that actually sounded like Mark Hamill. No. Let's see. Josh Duhamel as Harvey Dent. Okay. Troy Baker as the Joker. Troy Baker also did the Joker in Batman Arkham Origins. So, that's why it sounds good.
Okay.
So, he's done it before.
It sounded familiar, but it wasn't Mark Hamill.
No.
I could tell that right off the bat, but it's like, it's still really good though.
It sounded pretty close, but yeah, you're right. It wasn't quite Mark Hamill.
That doesn't look bad at all. That's pretty good.
I'm excited for it. I loved the graphic novel, so hopefully this retains the same twist as the original did, or as the graphic novel did. So.
How long's the graphic novel been out? This is like an old story adaptation.
It's 90s something.
Okay.
Okay, so it was originally a 13-issue limited series. It was 1996 through 1997. So, still quite a while.
Cool. All
right,
cool.
so
What's your rating?
what would you... Oh, my rating? I would 100% go see it in the theaters. I mean, it's a direct-to-DVD thing, so obviously it's not going to happen, but nevertheless...
I'd probably say wait for a review.
Yeah.
Unless this is one of those movies that you would inevitably end up dragging me into, whether I thought I'd like it or not.
I've been trying to get you to watch these movies for forever, so. And now the fact that you have easy access to them, you have one obstacle removed.
One obstacle removed.
Uh-huh. Before you could argue that you couldn't watch them because you couldn't get your hands on them. But now you have no excuse. Other than time, which I'll give you.
You're so courteous. That sounds like a death threat if I don't start watching this stuff.
I will say, if you wanted to start somewhere, the Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2, those are really, really good. They're obviously not my favorites, but if you want to kind of see how the kind of like the tone that they're going for without trying to delve into like the quote unquote deeper story, I guess, then those two would be a good ones to start out with.
You act like I'm hesitant to watch this stuff. I've really gotten to like a lot of the Batman stuff I don't know. I just like the characters involved. Especially after playing the games, too.
It's hard not to.
And, being forced to watch the Dark Knight trilogy.
Well, yeah.
Which was still really good.
Yeah. I'm glad that we got to watch that, like, back to back to back. It was
all we need is time.
Yeah, I know.
Time in a COVID-free world where we can actually hang out more.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, that's where we're going to leave this episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to leave a review on whatever podcasting platform you have to be listening on. And, yeah, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Podcast Period. This episode was hosted and produced by Ben, co-hosted and edited by David. You can contact Ben on Twitter at BenPlaysVidges. That's Ben Plays, VIDYAS. And you can contact David on Twitter at Car6by16. If you'd like to chat with us about any of the topics on this episode, you can hit the show up at Podcast Period on Twitter, or shoot us an email at podcastperiodpodcast@gmail.com. That's all for this episode. We'll see you next time.
This was a Nerdgasm Podcast production.
Well, that was another in a long series of regrettable life choices.
Served at nerdgasmpodcast.com.